the camera when he starts. I think we can hear him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Was it too late to go to the bathroom?
What's up, Kenya, Arizona Diaspora, Hope TV? My name is Benny, and I'm joined by some wonderful young adults. All right, we're going to be having a discussion tonight, a conversation tonight around challenges that young people and youth face. All right, but I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves real quick. All right, so.
Yeah, good evening, all. My name is Silvio.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Milka, and I am currently Miss Kenya, Arizona 2021. I will have my information down on the YouTube channel, so go ahead and follow just to see what's going on for the rest of the campaign and for the pageant. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hi, I'm Grace. My name is Grace Degwa. I'm 21 years old. I'm the historian for Arizona Youth, so follow us on Instagram.
That's good. That's good. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You know, we've been having fun just chatting up before we started. We were just going to talk about youth challenges and youth issues. So the first thing to talk about, I'm going to ask you guys an icebreaker question. What do you guys prefer, chapati or mandazi?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot of carbs, but...
and then even if you want to be more controversial, you can add like samosa, like which one?
You know what? Now that he said that, that's what I have to go with. Honestly, all that
samosa over chapo and mandazi, really?
Dude, for real? It has meat. It comes with meat.
Wow.
You got a whole course. You got your protein.
Yeah.
You got your carbohydrates, bro. You got all of it in there.
It was.
Low key, if you think about it, chapo is really good with like stew, and you can get some rice in there too. You know what I mean? Make a little taco of it. It's actually really nice.
It's like a wrapped up taco.
Yeah, low key,
that's what it is.
You eat it like whatever you eat.
But you know, mandazi is a close second. That's a good one.
Actually, I would say my top three: chapati.
And samosas, yeah.
And then mandazi would be the last one. Depends on what type of mandazi. You know, sometimes the ones that don't have sugar, they don't have flavor. Those
I swear, people be doing that to try to keep it healthy.
Exactly. Or even samosas with like greens instead of meat.
Yo, what is that about? Why are you putting spinach in this?
I know. I'm out here. I'm expecting
spinach in a samosa. Oh my god.
Cabbage and some tomatoes.
No. I understand. Y'all are rich.
Samosas are not egg rolls. Right? Stop putting vegetables in samosas.
But we respect for y'all because you guys are trying to keep us healthy and all about
mamas and teas and short
make that food. But sometimes when we're eating samosas, we don't want to be healthy.
Right.
So
the whole point
is to have a cheat day.
We're gonna spicy. Oh, you know what? We're gonna be here all day. And so we're going off topic. So we're not gonna get into it. Like I said before, we're talking about young challenges that face young people and youth. All right. So our first thing I feel like we should go into. Let's use 3 words to describe this generation. I don't know for Generation Z or millennials. What do you guys identify as? You guys identify as millennials or Generation Z?
Oh, I feel like
I like Generation Z. That sounds so.
Generation Z.
It sounds so big, you know.
True. Yeah, but like it's like I know it's like defined by certain like when you were born too.
I think see, now that I ask like how old y'all are, like, not gonna ask you guys like
where were we born? Yeah, you know, like what years?
In mid-90s. So they said it's kind of like there's a transition point where both are kind of at the beginning. So like at the mid-90s, that's where Generation Z, that's where millennials end, mid-90s, and then Generation Z starts. You know what I mean? So like, you could be both. So people born in like 95, 96, 97, 98.
Yeah, you're both.
Kind of like in that both generation. So depending on that, what generation?
So I think we're Generation Z then.
Yeah. I'm literally the border. Like I'm not ashamed of my age. I was 1999. I'm 21. So I'm Gen Z. Like I'm the right there at the border. So it's like So it's like the question was what.
What do you identify as?
Yeah, what do you identify as? So Gen Z.
Gen Z. I think most of us are Gen Z.
Yeah.
I identify as a millennial. All right. So this is not my.
Wow.
It was Generation Z that was eating Tide Pods a couple years ago. So.
Oh, that's true.
But
respect. Okay.
Yeah, but so let's with young people and young adults, because we identify as young adults.
Yeah.
We'll use 3 words to describe your generation and young people today. I'll let each of you kind of go and do that.
For this generation, I will consider them ambitious,
Okay.
adaptable,
Adaptable.
And know-it-alls.
Know-it-alls.
Oh, that's a good one.
Some people they act like they know some things when they don't.
I think what I would define, let me see, like, so I would say confident. We're definitely, like he said, more ambitious, more hardworking now that we have, like, extra help with the technology and everything. And we're, like, a little bit comfortable. Because, like I said, like, technology is making us really comfortable to get in touch with people and just do pretty much everything. So we're really comfortable.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I would say for like my top 3, it would be like Generation Z or like in type of like our generation, young people, where a lot of, I had a good word, I just forgot it. It just flew away from my mind. Come back. I would say that where a lot of, like Sylvia said, know-it-alls, but it's just because we're tech savvy. We're trendsetters. A lot of the things that you see that are happening in the media are because of young people, especially our generation now. Like people like Kylie Jenner, there's like like, you know, a lot of young people. Another one I would say, also confident, to piggyback off of that. In order to start trends, you have to be pretty confident in what you're doing.
What you're posting, so yeah.
Exactly. And so it's just like, I feel like those are top 2. I don't know about a third one.
I think I would add for her. I would say, what is that? I had it. I promise you. I had it. Why are they like running?
I know.
But I do like the what Sylvia said, know-it-alls. Like I feel like we have a generation of people or young people that think they know a lot. Like, yes, we are the most like
distracted. That's the word. Sorry, distracted. We're so distracted now because I think like the one thing we all have in common is the whole technology thing, and we're so distracted by it that we lose like the one-on-one communication, like the in-person communications. Like you literally be in a group of friends and like you're texting, and like. It's a group of people, like, y'all can talk to each other, but you're texting each other instead of... Like, someone who's next to you. I just think, like, that's really big. Like, we're so distracted with our technology.
That's spot on. Because I think it's, like, with all this technology and, like, computers and, like now, like, no generation before us had social media. Like, like none of them had Facebook, none of them had, like, Twitter, and nobody, like, our parents they don't, you know what I mean? Like, all of this is new. You know what I mean? So, like, I guess with our generation, it is being distracted because now we have something like, we all have a phone. Like, everyone in our generation has a phone. Everyone in our generation has access to the internet, like, in the first time in, like, modern history. It's one of those things.
We've become to rely on it a lot. So,
And it's like, I feel like the whole reason why people think that, you know, especially our generation, that they know things a lot is because of social media.
They have access
like the
to
internet.
all this information.
If you want to, I can learn how to like edit a whole video. If I just go on YouTube, how to edit a video, how to set up a whole lesson. Bro, you got it right there.
Like, we live in a time where, like, young people, like, you can make so much money. It's so easy to make money on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so many things, whether it's, like, in a good way or in a bad way, you know what I mean? Or, like, immoral. It depends on what people think. But, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many venues you can make, like, money through, like, the internet. And it's so crazy.
The point is, we're just so distracted, honestly, and I think we should just lay off just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Because we know we've been relying on social media a lot, like, with school and everything, and that's, like, you know, understandable, but like, let's lay off, communicate, talk to people face to face. It's healthy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, very healthy. It's very healthy for your mind, honestly.
Lay off the social media. You shouldn't be watching this because on Facebook. Because it's on social media.
No, after you're done tuning in.
Yeah, after you're done, get off your phone. So that leads me to my next question because I feel like social media kind of contributes to this. Yeah. But what are like 3 common issues you think that young people and young adults struggle with today? So let's kind of stay off social media because we know social media is one of those issues. But let's what are some things that you feel like, you know, that young people struggle with? You know what I mean?
Okay, you wanna go?
Yep. Okay. I feel school is
school, man. Nobody started on that.
That's a major thing.
Right. He's stuck in point with everybody.
Whether you're in high school, you're in college, junior high, it's a problem.
Right. It's very stressful. It's become very stressful.
For school, it's just not only the cost of college, but like homework and like
the expectations
from
parents,
teachers and like parents. Like I've had parents, I've seen parents that want these kids to like be scholars, and unfortunately, like they're not capable of being a scholar. Like master student, their parent is pushing and pushing and pushing it. It can't happen.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like too stressful for them.
Yeah. Exactly. So, funny enough, for like my Miss Kenya Arizona campaign, I'm focusing more on depression with females. Just the whole, I think it's become such a big issue because we're finding it difficult to communicate with our parents that we're depressed or we have some mental health issues. Right. And I think like as old, like the parents, I feel like we should create that safe space for our kids to tell us when they don't feel good or when they're so stressed, like he said, with school and the whole pressure. That can be very stressful and that can lead to depression, and depression can lead to so much more like worse stuff. So I think we need to take that into consideration because it's really a big thing. It's just as big as like a heart attack or anything like that, because it's really become a big issue because we're losing children because of depression. Yeah. And I think that should be a focus.
Depression, anxiety, like there's a number of issues that it's all the same issue kind of,
right,
that young people face.
Right. Like just like the mental health,
mental health especially is like a big one. I'd like to piggyback off of that. Yeah. It's like honestly, mental health is a lot of things, like you said, making a safe space for young people to really come to you, feel comfortable to. And it's like it's so crazy because it's like maybe if they can't talk to their parents or like specifically, it could be like an older person that they look up to, or even like just a friend to lean on. So it's just like, even just if you can't feel safe in that area, I mean, I encourage you, reach out to your pastors, reach out to a friend maybe that might be able to, that you feel comfortable with, like just leaning on. So just
right. And to go off of that, just like more focusing on the whole depression thing, with my campaign, like I'll be involved in organizations that get to, talk to a lot of young youth and young adults about like being comfortable with talking about it. It's just we have this. I think our females, like we've been carrying this big thing about being confident and being strong and all of that, and that is good. We are strong. We can do anything, but it's also okay to not be okay. It's okay to be stressed. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be vulnerable, honestly. And I think you need to be comfortable at telling someone because it helps when you talk about it. It might be your parents. It might be your friend. Honestly, it might be me. I have my Instagram. If you want to talk to me, by all means. Like, I've gone through it. DM is really, it's really open. But honestly, like
no, hold on, skip.
But if you need to talk, honestly, I've gone through it. I've gone through depression, and I think when you get out of it, you're gonna be even more stronger than before. So acknowledge it. Talk to people. Talk to anyone. I wish parents could make it more comfortable where you can come to them. But even if it's not them, find someone else. Even church members.
Mental health is a huge one, and I also think like peer expectations,
right?
Like or like this need to like stunt or flex on like
for sure.
Like our peers and like to act like we have it all together. It kind of ties into that a little bit, but it's a branch. You know what I mean? It's like so like when you see it like a whole umbrella of issues, it's like mental health, it's like social media, like it's a bunch of things that like target young people. Like social media, like for me, I know I used to have a problem where it's like I want to flex on people. I want to like show them I'm doing this. I want to show them I'm
like
doing
the newest trends and everything. Like keep up with them.
Even like the way my Instagram feed. Yes, it looks great. Like I mean the aesthetic is good. Wow. Like my follower ratio is on point. You know what I mean? So these are things like even I've dealt with. You know what I mean? And as young people, we talk about like it's a problem, but then like. And I feel like young people as a generation, we've come to know, like, this is something we struggle with. But then we still try to maintain this problem.
Right. This expectancy that we're not supposed to be depressed. Like, we really have everything we could ever want.
Together. And I think a big issue, it's like, I know we're kind of done with the topic, but it is social media. And it's also just, like, the people that you probably surround yourself with, too, as well. Because it's like...
Cut them off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
You feel the need to, like, out here flex to whatever that... complex, whatever you want to say, like flex in a sense, and just not be the true you, then you're not with the right group of people.
Exactly. Cutting off is a way like of growing up. It's part of growing up. So if you need to snip somebody, just
it creates that like this personal identity crisis. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're struggling to figure out like who you are and like who you're trying to be, like
Right.
you're caught in the tension of both, and it's so weird.
It makes it difficult to know who you are because you're pretending to be so many things all at once to impress other people.
Like I'm one person to my parents, I'm another person to my friends, like this group of friends, I'm another person to this group of friends, I'm another person to the church I go to. You know what I mean? So,
You find yourself acting different depending on what group you're around.
it's not hypocrisy. That's a dangerous word. Hypocrisy would be like if I was fronting like, hey, I love Jesus. And then
you go out and do all this non-binary things.
And then like I go back to the church and I'm like, hey, y'all are sinning.
Exactly.
That's hypocrisy.
Just being a
I
hypocrite.
would say like being different. It's like sometimes you're trying to get a certain reaction from different people.
Yeah. It's like also you're trying to get everyone to like you, which is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, their attention. You're trying to have everyone like you. That's not reality. Not everyone's gonna like you.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody can hear that.
Stop trying.
So that's kind of like.
No, but you're acting different. You're acting different to where nobody realizes who you are. So because you want people to start liking you, like be you.
For some people, it's like hard to distinguish like what is the problem because it's like you're all these things to different people. No one's able to see like a vulnerable side of you.
Neither are you too. Like
you kind of lose who you are.
Exactly. So when I say stop it, I mean be you. And don't care what anybody else thinks. If they don't like who you are, they don't need to be in your life.
Period.
Keep it pushing. On to the next.
All right, so that kind of leads to
on to the next.
that kind of leads to my next question. So maybe it's the same thing, but I'm not sure. But what do you think are some things that young people often turn to when they're feeling down?
Ooh,
What are some things?
Oof.
It's a heavy question.
There's both bad and good things. You know, there's healthier parts of like who they turn to, but there's also those negative, and I think the negative sometimes like overlaps. Like doesn't overlap, but overdoes.
There's some things that
healthy.
I would say for like some young people, it depends on who you are. Like I say for myself personally, even sometimes it's like you just want to be by yourself. You turn kind of isolation,
right?
Or I'll try to turn to God in a sense because it's like I'm feeling confused in this season and I want some wisdom to kind of like, where am I at? Like where am I going? And I know for a lot of my friends too, it's either they turn to other friends or some of them, not the healthier alternative, they'll go out, they'll turn to substances,
right?
They'll do other things like that. So, which is crazy to think, but
right. And to go off of the whole going like to God and whatnot. Because I know, like, a few years ago, that's, like, when I started actually praying a little bit more. So anytime I have, like, any difficult issues, you know, I'll just go to prayer because I'm not, like, he can hear me. Like, I got this. Like, I can just vent everything that I need to spill out to him. And, like, that just gives me confidence. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, I feel like that, like, all the problems are off my shoulder now. And I keep it pushing because that gives me the confidence to keep going because somebody heard it. You know, something.
Somebody.
Okay, but I thought he didn't have gender. Whatever. So, that's a whole other topic.
What other episode?
Okay.
let's do that next week.
But yeah, I just find praying is like a big thing. But you know, like she said, like there's that negative side, the unhealthy part where we turn to substances just because you don't want to feel what you feel. So you think drinking or doing this and that is gonna help, but that's also like that leads into depression and stress, and even creates more problem than what you had before.
That's true.
What about you, Sylvia? What do you think?
I feel like they turn to friends.
Oh, that's true.
That's good. Yeah.
But then also, like, can you think? I have a question, like, kind of to piggyback off of that, because a lot of people, when they're in, especially our generation, will turn to each other. For issues that we don't know of. So then,
you haven't experienced
single friend relationship. Advice.
Wow, it's like
dude, to be honest, like if you do go to a single person about your relationship, I think that they have better. I always find it that they,
they're for a reason.
Maybe by choice. They don't.
That's true.
But like you always finding like someone in the outside knows more about you because you're in it.
I feel like they could give a different perspective, and I think it was solid because sometimes we're going to our friends about issues that maybe they've never dealt with, and like maybe like so it's sometimes it comes to a problem where it's like maybe we're looking for looking to feel better with our friends, and yes, our friends are there to support us, and encourage us, but they're not always the answer. We gotta understand that. They're a resource. I like that. But
Exactly.
They're not my main source. You know?
Honestly, if you need to look it up, I think there's like coping skills to like dealing with something. If you need to talk to someone, by all means, but I know I said that we need to stay on social media, but sometimes it does help. Like go on there, look for coping skills that might work for you, and stop going to people who have never been through it.
I know for myself, I kind of for things I kind of like dive into, like I kind of like I'm a Christian, so like for me, I kind of just like dive into my Bible. I like listen to worship music, but I know that like when I wasn't saved, there were some things that I would turn to, and I'm like, yo, this is unhealthy. Like I mean, there's some.
So you catch it when you realize it.
Yeah. So then you're like, and then like when you turn to those negative things, it leads to like more problems. You know what I mean? So like I know friends that were like they were feeling bad and they went to go drink and they got drunk and then another drama situation.
They did something else after being
like original problem. They got the original problem
and then the new problem
that they're dealing with, and those are not the things that ideally you don't want to turn to.
Yeah, you start building up things that don't need to be built up.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about these issues. But I want to kind of shift gears a little bit because we're talking about young people, and I kind of wanted to kind of key in on like young people in the church. So like my next question is, why are young people seemingly uninterested in the church, and sometimes or like why are they leaving the church? Like, well, let's talk about that.
Well, I have a really good answer for that. I would say, not a really good answer. Maybe it's just for me personally. I've noticed even for a lot of young people, it's like church is a place that they go to, especially for healing, or they'll go to hear something from God, or just to kind of start that relationship. And church is supposed to be that safe space to where you can come and, hopefully you can hear from the Lord. Sometimes in some churches, there's that judgmental kind of environment.
Right.
It kind of creates this negative feeling towards the church. And then essentially it kind of stems to like, is this what Christianity or is this what God looks like?
Right.
I don't want a part of this. Yeah. So that's causing them to leave, or it's causing them to like turn to other things like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like, personally, it's like that's probably one of them, I would say.
Yeah, and and going off of her, like you start losing the drive to go to church because motivation. But because you think like going there, and then you have these standards on how you're supposed to dress. If you dress like this, you're gonna be seen as like
a certain individual.
Yes, a certain individual. Exactly. Hey, listen, we're not trying to call y'all names. A certain individual. Exactly. But church is like come as you are, and that's how God sees you. Okay. And I feel like I've been to churches where pastors be talking about us like young kids, young adults, young adults, and you feel like you're being attacked, They're like, oh, these young adults nowadays, they go to club, they do this, they dress like this, and mind you, over there like wearing jeans, and they're like, they wear jeans, and you're sitting there like wearing jeans in church while he's talking about us young adults wearing jeans. Like, how's that gonna make you feel? So we just feel so attacked sometimes in church, and I feel like that would just drive you away because what's the point?
I feel like some of them they mean the right things, but the way they're trying to convict you is like, you're doing everything you're doing
instead of allowing like your own convictions and the Holy Spirit to convict you.
Now you're worried.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so
I would say lack of excellence.
Ooh. A lack of excellence. Ooh, talk about that.
Let me know.
Talk to me about that. Exactly. What do you mean by that? Let me help you. What do you mean by that?
I'll say like. When you
in terms of like production, you mean, or like how things are being presented, or
like when you go to church and like you're not being offered to play the drums and you have a talent.
Okay, so maybe giving out the opportunity to help out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and you go to church and like you not having like a group of the youth whereby like you guys can interact with each other and like
so not finding the community that you want to find. Okay, I like that. That's real.
I think most often we have like older generations preaching to us, so they're putting their expectations in the preaching, you know? So you feel like what you're doing now, you know, us as young adults, we feel like, oh, we're not doing the right things because he's saying do this and that. And, you know, we just need to adapt. Like, we have new experiences now. We're going through different things. Yeah. So I think we also, like, in churches, we should have those young adult like groups, communities where we talk to each other because we know what we're going through.
That's good.
Yeah. So
I feel like what I like to like, I feel like for young people, it kind of goes back to everything you guys said, like kind of being like almost like shamed into like out of the church, and there's also that like lack of community. Sometimes you go there and then you're seeing like maybe you're not seeing the young people that you would like to see, and we're not seeing like these other things. I feel like as young people, like for me, I try to make sure like I'm getting involved. When even with the come as you are, like yes, come as you are, and then allow God to change you. You know, allow. Like I feel like if we're preaching from the Bible, we're talking about Jesus, and we're convicting. Like young people are looking for something that's bigger than themselves.
Exactly.
But and like given the opportunity, I feel like our generation is so mischaracterized as like a selfish generation. But like we're really looking for like love. We're looking for hope. We're looking for
the same things that everyone else does.
Yeah,
exactly.
And when we go to church and we hear Jesus, we hear the message, the gospel being preached in a way like we're not being like, you know what I mean, shamed. And we're preaching about Jesus. We're preaching about love. We're preaching about like how He will change us and how we can walk and be discipled. That's very important. That's how young people will. You know?
And they leave church feeling more confident and more like free than they came in.
Which leads me to my next question: what are some things the church could do to better? What are some things the church could do to better cater to young people and make them feel more comfortable? This is the last question, right?
Okay. But I think going to what he said, let them express themselves in whatever way they want. Like if they need to sing, let them sing in the, you know, in the choir. If they want, let them play the drums, do something, and then also like create those, and then create like the little groups for like young adults. And then also have like the older adults speak to the young adults in an understanding type of way, not in a criticism type of way. Like you guys need to stop doing this and this. Instead, instead talk to us like, okay, like I know exactly, like we understand. Like I know, you know, things are hard with COVID or school or depression. Like you were saying, like talk to them in an understanding manner instead of criticize.
Going back to what you said, I mean, provide the opportunities, but not force them.
Exactly.
That's a big thing.
That's good.
A lot of people, like especially in churches, they'll create area like they'll have. Oh yeah, you can serve in this, but we really need these people.
Right.
So just do this. This is the opportunity. Ushers. It's like, you know, okay, maybe I want to start serving in praise and worship. So it's like, okay. No. Start here, and we'll take you there. That's where.
Like I know how to do it already. Stop telling me to do this and then get there.
Guidance that's probably needed too, as well.
There's some guidance, discipleship.
Because you can't just like
jump into it.
You know, there's some discipleship that needs to happen.
But listen, I feel like listening is important. Just
listen.
From their side. Just listen and have an understanding.
And I feel like my only critique. So everything you guys said was right. I feel like my only critique to young people would be like, let's get more involved in the church. You know what I mean? Because sometimes as young people, we have this tendency where it's like, we go to church, it didn't go our way one day, and it's like, all right, I'm never going there again. It's like, and it's like, and then I know young people that will say like, oh, I haven't been to church in like, you know, because I got hurt a long time ago at the old church I used to go to. It's like, no, get past that. We're not going to church because of the people. We're going to church because of God.
Right.
All right. And our main message, like, if Jesus did not hurt you, maybe the people did. All right, so always go back to the relationship.
Also, I feel like it's not. We shouldn't like blame the young people. It's like as maybe like people in the church, even for yourselves, if it starts there, just don't come with that
energy.
Or even with.
I feel like with everyone, we should come with a heart of grace, like I mean, a heart of like expectation and love to seek God, and from that, like you know what I mean, like people will, you know what I mean,
yeah. So all of it is right.
I co-sign.
I feel like for young people, like let's look to be more involved in our communities. Let's look to be more involved in the church. Let's look to be more involved with our relationship with Christ. Let's look to be more involved with one another, like making sure we're all okay. Like
exactly.
Like I know we're in a community, even the Kenyan community. Like I know I check up on a lot of people. You know, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on?
That's good. Check up on people.
Because I know recently, like at the beginning of this year, we had a young adult pass away. His name was Brian. And he passed away, and it was like, dang, if someone had just checked up on him, if someone had checked, like, what was going on, hey, how are you doing, bro? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as young people, let's kind of like, this in this community, let's like check up on one another. Let's like text each other. Even if you're not closer to someone, kind of like put that out there, like, hey, I'm here for you if you need anything.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So to go off of what he was saying, you know, with creating communities, like, while, you know, since I have the whole title, Miss Kenya 2021 is a big deal. So I'll be creating like those organizations and like being participate in those communities that with young adults, you know, to spread the word about depression and self-acceptance and all of that, because that's the main issue, and we're losing a lot of young adults with those because of those issues, because we're not taking it seriously. We think it's just something that's just going to be over in a week. No, it's not. It's very, very big, and it's like a silent killer, honestly. So we need to, I'll create those communities. Like I said, I have my Instagram on there. So if you are going through depression, like I said, I've gone through it. I know how hard it is. I know it can take forever to get over it, but I'm here for y'all. So if you guys need to DM me and you have issues, by all means, I will literally take the time and talk to you.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. Anybody else want to add something on top of that before we go into announcements? All right. That's great. This was a great convo, guys.
This is nice.
I'm going to let Mocha kind of give them your platform, give them your Instagram, you know, so that they know where to follow you, talk about, like, maybe, you know.
Yeah, so my ads is for, my ads for Instagram and Facebook are both under the video. So memorize it if need be. Please just keep it in mind. Honestly, I am such a big advocate for females and self-acceptance, like the whole self-esteem and mental health, because like I said, it's such a big issue. It's such a silent killer. And I feel like when we create those communities where we understand and we talk about it, because that's what's important, talking about it, feeling comfortable with not being okay, because it's okay to not be okay. Honestly, everyone goes through it, and if you need to go to past this so you can keep living your life, because depression really puts a hold on your life. So, like I said, I have my Instagram down, and I'll be putting some updates there throughout the campaign, and support me.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we got you. We support you. 100%. I feel like as young people, and even everyone in this community should be able to support one of our own, and give you the resources needed to exceed and excel in that space. I'm the AZyouth lead director for AZyouth, and so I just have a couple of announcements just about our online Bible studies that we have on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. on our Instagram Live. So we do it on our Instagram Live 7:30. So you can follow us at AZyouth. 2 H's, all right? It's weird. Don't ask me why. But, at AZyouth 2 H's, both on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube.
7 p.m. or a.m.?
7:30 p.m.
PM. Okay.
Yeah, at night, of course.
I'm just wondering.
We might do a podcast one of these days, you know. You know, and then also, you know, we're gonna start doing in-person Bible studies on October 25th. More information to come out on that. But thank you so much for watching tonight and tuning in this evening. We're so happy that you could watch us, Kenya, Arizona Diaspora Hope TV. Thank you so much. And I'll just end with a word of prayer, and we out of here. All right. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us this opportunity to just come on here, dear God, and just talk about issues that are young people and young adults are facing, oh God. I pray that as we continue to move on, dear God, from this, dear God, I pray that you continue to just open our eyes and give us expectations, dear God, of what to expect from you, oh God. Just shape our hearts, dear God, to what you want it to be, dear God, and help us mold it, dear God, so that we are able to reach other young people, other youth, dear God, so that they're able to feel comfortable, dear God, and in the bodies that you've given them, dear God, help them feel comfortable in the minds that you've given them. In Jesus' mighty name I pray, amen. Amen. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Good night.